Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just so glad that you're here with me for this Brave Thinking Masterclass. Today, we're going to learn how to be brave thinkers. We're not just going to think common thoughts that we always thought. We're going to learn what these brave thoughts are and how to implement them in our lives. My name is Dawn Huffy. I'm the owner of Liberty Belle Coaching, and my life coaching certifications came through the amazing Brave Thinking Institute. Now, you made the decision to join me here today, and it is my intention that you leave here knowing 3 tools that will help you become that brave thinker. And it's going to help you achieve your goals and your dreams even faster than you ever imagined. I'm also going to help you see greater clarity and how to take the steps to get those dreams to manifest quicker. In order to do this, I'm going to share a story with you, and I'm also going to share my screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation for you. Okay, great. And the name of this PowerPoint is The Power of Vision, 3 Keys to Mastering Your Results. So today you're going to learn 3 keys and 3 tools. Now for the story. A mother mouse was leading her 3 children through a house when all of a sudden she came around the corner and saw a cat. The cat was about to attack them, and the mother mouse said in a very loud voice, "Ruff, ruff, ruff," and the cat ran away. The mother mouse turned to her babies and said, "That is the power of learning more than one language." Now, why this story is important to all of us is that we're going to be learning a new language, and it's the language of success. The mouse had a second language, pretending, she was a dog, and so it scared the cat away. And this is success. So we want to have success in our life too. Now, there is a pattern, a system, a way of doing things that creates the results you want. And once you consciously understand what that language is, then you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to improve. And this is what the Dream Builder program is all about. And this is one of the programs that I coach clients through. And it's learning a new language for success for your life. Do you have a goal or a dream that you would like to achieve, or some area of your life that you would like to improve? I think that most of us can say that, yes, we could have improvements in our life in some area. My intention for today, to give you 3 tools to help you achieve your goals, to give you greater clarity on your goals and dreams, and to feel even more confident in your ability. Have you ever achieved a goal or a dream? I'm sure you have. And oftentimes we don't know how we're going to get to that goal or how we're going to get to that dream, but we get there anyway. And so it just proves that we're capable, that we actually need to understand that we are capable of far more than we know. So let's take a minute here and ask ourselves, what challenge is going on in my life right now? Is there some area of your life that's causing you pain? When I have certain situations that come up in my life that I don't prefer, that's when I ask this question, okay, what's going on here with this pain that I'm feeling, or this discomfort, or this distress? And then I go to some of my tools and find out what's driving this distress. And it's usually coming out of a wound that created a pattern. And then that pattern is attracting these situations that cause me distress. What's happening is my inner distress is signaling experiences out there to come to me so that I can understand there's something inside of me that wants to be healed. That's the message. Wow. Okay, so that's how I live my life these days. Years ago, I would go through horrible situations and all this awfulness and get myself through it and not really heal what was attracting all the awful situations. I live my life completely different now, and I want you to live yours that way too, because it's so much easier. Now, let's go back to that challenge that came up in your mind that you're facing right now. Maybe it's in your health, your job, your lack of free time, or it might be a relationship, possibly your finances. Okay, so just keep that in your mind because we all have challenges. I remember, let me take a little drink of water here. When I divorced my first husband, I thought, you know what? All my problems are going to be done and over with when I leave this man because I was so miserable. I didn't want to marry him to begin with. And of course, it didn't turn out well because I didn't really want to marry him. So I thought I had kind of a twisted idea in my mind that my life was just going to be perfect, basically. I really had a vision that once he was gone, all of my problems would be gone, but it wasn't the case at all. And why wasn't it the case? Because I took all my patterns with me. Mhm. Yes, I did. And so those patterns caused challenges. And so there I was. Yes, I have been doing my best to be a better person since my son was born. And he just turned 40. Yes. And there's more for me to learn, just like there's more for you to learn. Now, let's look at our two signals for growth. The first one is a longing. We long for something that we don't have. So that is a signal for growth. It's not for us to get all downtrodden about it. We could sit there and go, oh, I just wish I had such and such. We get so whiny about it and complaining. No, we do not want to do that. We want to say, oh man, I'm longing for something. Oh, that's right. Dawn said this is a signal for growth. That's how we want to look at longing. Remember, we're learning a new language of success, and what we tell ourselves is very important. Okay, now another signal is discontent. You just may really be upset with the way a relationship is going or the way your finances are coming in. This is a signal. Look, this is not working the way I wanted to. How can I do it different? We don't want to be out blaming someone else because such and such happened. Blaming never changes our patterns. As a matter of fact, blaming is a pattern. So when you find yourself blaming, interrupt yourself and stop it and say, okay, I'm discontent. What can I do? How can I grow? To what we want to do is we want to find the longing solution. Okay, what's the solution for our longing? And what's going to dissolve the discontent? That's what we want to do. Because the feeling of longing for something we haven't yet created and the feeling of discontentment with certain current circumstances are the feelings that spark us to grow. You can be pushed by the pain and you can be pulled by a vision. These are two ways that you can make changes. I would definitely recommend being pulled by a vision because it's much more easy and much more comfortable. If you're pushed by the pain, you're already suffering. And so we want to catch all this stuff before you go into this deep suffering. But the main idea here is that these are the two energies, the pain of your problem or the desire for what you want. This is what signals us that it's time for growth. It's time to do something different. It's time to create different results. I'm going to share my story, one of my stories, and this is where I got myself into a lot of pain with the job that I had. As some of you might know, in the fall of 2020, I was feeling so frustrated and exasperated at all the restrictions and requirements at my job in the private school where I worked. We all know what was going on in 2020. All of the coercion and the pressure and the mandates and all of that crap. And I was not going to comply. I felt awful about the things that they wanted me to comply with. And I knew if I did comply, I would be so unhappy with myself. Going against my intuition, going against that still small voice, that voice of the Holy Spirit, never works out for me. And really, it never works out for anyone because that still small voice always gives us the best guidance. On our final day of in-service, when the new restrictions were delivered, I made a decision. I decided that my job was coming to an end on that day. No notice. I didn't give a notice. I quit that night. That decision was really scary since I had no other job in mind at the time. It certainly wasn't convenient and it wasn't comfortable making that decision. But the alternative was not acceptable to me. I was pushed by the pain of my situation to make a change. Now, there is something else I want to share with you. There were some aspects of that job that I really liked. I really liked the kids. I knew I was teaching them in ways that were very beneficial to their self-esteem and to their life. At the same time, I had some very mean supervisors. So I was in pain in this job for quite some time, but I just kept staying. So what happened? Eventually, the supervision got, all controlling and all of that. And it caused me into more pain and distress. And then I made the decision to finally leave the job that really wasn't a good fit for me fully. Within a month of leaving that job, I discovered a life coach named Mary Morrissey. I found her programs were starting to change my life in ways that were so positive. I first bought a program that was about abundance because I knew I had some problems with my finances and abundance, and I had just quit a job, and I thought, boy, oh boy, I need to shift this pattern. So that's the first program I bought. It was an 8-week program. Then there was a whole year-long program called Thinking Masters. I bought that program, and I knew with the way my thinking was that I needed ongoing support. And with that program, I got morning mentor videos 5 days a week. To this day, I still continue to watch them. And I bought her program in the fall of 2020. So almost 4 years, 5 days a week, I do her morning mentor videos. Plus, one day a week, she would coach us on Zoom or an hour. And then one day a week, we had a master coach that would answer our questions. So it was a very, very good program. I actually did that program for 2 years. And now I just watch the morning mentor videos because I have them for life. And I also watch the weekly trainings with Mary because I have those for life. It's a fabulous company. All right. So, wow, I didn't know I was going to go into all that, but it really was a program that was, all of her programs were just so life-changing for me. So then after that, I enrolled in her coaching program. For quite a few years, I had wanted to be a coach. I started another coaching program. It was all just like a document program. There was no support. I never even finished it. And that's really not like me. When I buy something, I usually persevere through it. But I didn't with that program. I didn't get the certification. But this time with Mary, I did. And I actually bought the next level, which was Life Mastery Consulting. And I finished that one too. So I have 2 certifications from the Brave Thinking Institute. Okay, so let's get back to you. What's your next big dream? Imagine how you're going to feel when you achieve your dream. In the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success when you apply them to your life. And today I'm going to give you 3 of those principles. And you can apply them right now and make changes. A lot of people have very positive changes just by doing this masterclass. Here's my promise to you. I will give you my best today in the time that we have together. And at the end of the presentation, you might want to take this further. And I offer visioning sessions, and I'll talk to you about that at the end of this presentation, just in case you want to further integrate these principles into your life. So I have a special gift for you, and we'll talk about that at the end. We are constantly creating results. Now, we create results in 2 different ways. The first way is by default. And what that means is that we live our life out of our patterns. We all adopt patterns as we grow up. We get them from our parents, siblings, teachers, grandparents, all the influential people around us. They are living out their patterns and we just adopt them. We take them on. I want to explain a little bit deeper about what it means to live out of your pattern. I'm going to use the word choosing at the beginning of each of these phrases because we are actually choosing our pattern when we're not changing our patterns. So living by default is choosing thoughts you've already thought. If you're choosing thoughts that are negative, like, I'm just no good. My dad used to say, you're no damn good to all of us kids. And when people repeatedly say things like that to you, they get ingrained into your brain. So those thoughts can run on automatic when they are in a pattern. So we're choosing thoughts that we've already thought. And when they are negative and detrimental, like that one was, it causes our lives to be less than what we would love it to be. The next thing is choosing what you've already chosen. We've got to start choosing different options if we want different results. Living by default is choosing beliefs you already believe. We need to start challenging these beliefs. Yes, I am good. And this is challenging the belief of you're no damn good. And so healing the part of me that adopted that lie and living out my life. And yes, I am good. I can do good. This is what I'm talking about. We need to choose new beliefs. And the last thing that is a sign that you're living out of default is choosing what you've already done. If you're having interactions with people and they're making you angry and you're blaming them for something or yelling at them about it, and you repeatedly do this, you're choosing what you've already done. That's a pattern that you want to change. If you want to have more respect for yourself and treat others with respect. So we have to learn how to heal that part of us who gets so angry, and instead we can just look at the person when they're being mean or confrontational and not participate, or just say, I don't agree with that, and walk away. However, but we're going to heal that wound that's causing you to do what you've already done. Second way we create results is by design. And this is what the Brave Thinking class will do. It teaches you how to design the life that you would absolutely love. There are 4 major areas in your life that we all experience. The first is our health and well-being. The second is love and relationships. The third is vocation. And the fourth is time and money freedom. Everybody has results in all of these areas. And the results that you are getting in your life in these areas are a perfect reflection of the awareness in these areas. That is kind of an abstract statement. So our awareness is key. A lot of us are living out of our patterns, but we're not aware of the patterns. So when you start thinking bravely, you start really looking at and identifying your patterns. And this brings awareness. They talk about the light bulb moment. You finally say, oh my, now I know why I react that way all the time, because I have this pattern that came from this wound. Next, I want to talk about the results formula, and this is the Brave Thinking Institute results formula. We first have thoughts in our mind. These thoughts cause us to have certain feelings, and the feelings can cause us to take certain actions, and then we get results, or you could say we get experiences. 2 years ago, in 2022, I took a class called the Compassion Key. It was so life-changing for me. I learned more about the patterns and the wounds. And I want to just expand the results formula from the Brave Thinking Institute by bringing in the information from the creator. I think his name was Edward Mannix. Wow, couldn't remember his name for a second. He really spoke about what's underneath the thoughts, what's in our subconscious mind. So it's subconscious, which means we're not consciously aware of it. These are the patterns that run on automatic that we don't even have to think about, but they still operate. And so underneath the pattern is the wound that set up the pattern. This is really key. Now, these wounds are stuck inside of us. They come from experiences that are so overwhelming, so distressing. They bring us so much sadness and pain that they get stuck inside of us because generally there's no one around to help us through the process. Just for example, if your daddy doesn't come home from work one day and you never see him again, he just left the family. This sets up a pattern of abandonment, and it's from the wounding. Your dad leaving you, he abandoned you. And there's probably multiple emotions that get stuck inside of you because your mom is going to be devastated. She's not going to be able to help you with it. Your siblings, they aren't going to be able to help you. They're doing all they can do to cope and get through the trauma as well. And so a lot of these patterns create our thoughts. So this is a really key aspect to understand. Let's just do an exercise here. I would like you to think the thought, oh, I've lost my wallet. Now, when you actually get into that thought, you get a lot of feelings. You get panicked, worried, scared, all of that. And then those feelings cause you to take an action. You might be calling everybody you know to find out if they have your wallet, if you left your wallet there. Maybe you're calling shops that you were at or restaurants where you were. So it causes these feelings, cause you to take actions. And then your actions give you results. Your results are you might just be so exhausted by all that fretting and worrying. Now, let's think a different thought. Let's think the thought, oh, that's right. I left my wallet in my coat pocket. And what are your feelings now? Well, you're feeling very relieved, thankful, grateful. And what actions might you take? Well, you might say a prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, that you reminded me that it's in my coat. And your results are you're probably going to have a much more calm, peaceful day. This is the results formula. The concept behind this is that your thoughts create your results, and your results never lie. It's like what I talked about early in this presentation. When I have certain results or certain experiences that keep repeating, like just a couple of weeks ago, I kept bumping my head. And then I bumped my head 4 times. Then I smashed my little finger once in the door and once on a rock that I was moving. And I kept thinking to myself, some pattern is trying to get my attention. And so when I had a compassion key session, I said, we got to get to the root of this because I can't keep bumping my head. Thankfully, they were light bumps, so it didn't really damage my head that much. But my finger was so sore. Yes, it was really, really sore, especially when I did the rock on top of the smashing it in the door because it wasn't healed up from the smashing in the door yet. Oh my goodness. But we got to the original wound when I was very, very little. And since then, I haven't hurt myself. And that's been 2 weeks. I haven't bumped my head once. I haven't, no hurting myself. So your results never lie. And what they're doing is they're giving you information. They're giving you insights. And our job is to pay attention to the results and say, okay, what's going on here? Let's loop back to my thoughts and then even go deeper. Okay, what pattern might be driving this? And underneath that is always a wound. There's always an unresolved wound. And in the compassion key, what we do is we deal with that part of you that is so wounded, give it compassion, and that part gets healed. It's so beautiful. It's so phenomenal. It's so life-changing. I know you'll love it. So we really want to create new results. And in order to do that, we have to do something different. And this is the first tool for today. And this is brave thinking tool number 1. Notice what you're noticing. I want you to just do something with me. I invite you to just notice your feet on the floor. And now notice your calves. Next, notice your knees. Now notice your thighs. Now your stomach and your chest. Now notice your throat. Now notice your head. And notice what thoughts are flying through your mind right now. This is where we really want to use this tool. Notice what you're noticing in your thoughts, because we want to get a handle on this results formula. So we really have to pay attention to the thoughts that are floating through our mind. This is brave thinking tool number 1. Next, we're going to do a life assessment, and you will need some paper and something to write with. Before we do the assessment, I want to share some quotes with you. Oh, no, I don't. I thought I was. Okay. Oh, no, that's later. Okay, sorry. All right, so we're going right into the assessment. So you might be a person who doesn't know what your dream is. You just know there's something more. Or maybe you have a lot of dreams and you don't know whether to choose one dream or create them all at once. All right, so we're going to notice our current results using the tool Notice What You're Noticing. We're going to start with your health and well-being. You might be a person who feels stuck in your ability to transform your health. Or maybe you have relatively good health, no symptoms, but you know that there's more vibrancy and aliveness that you could feel. Okay, so we are going to take 1 minute and I'm going to invite you to write down 1 or 2 things that you're noticing in your health and well-being area. And I'm going to time us so we stay on track. So ready, write. There are 15 seconds left. All right, time is up. Next, I would like you to give yourself a rating where you feel you're at in your health and well-being. 5 means that you just feel so vibrant and so alive. You just really can go about your day, keep your energy levels up, and accomplish what you want to accomplish. Now, 1 would mean that you are really compromised in your health. So you can give yourself a rating on this 1 to 5 scale. Let's move on to the second area, which is love and relationships. Excuse me. You might be a person who longs to have a relationship with a partner. You just want a loving, caring partner. Or maybe you are in a relationship, but you would like to deepen, expand it, and just have more fun. We're going to take 1 minute and write down one or two things you're noticing. I'm going to ask you to choose one specific relationship. It might be a relationship with your spouse, a child, your mother, a sibling. Whichever one that comes up in your mind, just go with it and write down one or two things that you're noticing. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. You can give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 where you feel you're at with this specific relationship. Let's move on to the third area, which is your vocation, or how you express yourself in the world. You might be a person who feels stuck in a job you don't like, just like I was. Or maybe you like your work, but you work too many hours and you want more freedom. We're going to take 1 minute and write down one or two things you're noticing in this vocation area of your life. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Time is up. Once again, give yourself a rating in this area of vocation where you feel you're at. 5, you just think you're thriving and loving what you do. And 1, you're pretty disgruntled about the whole situation. And lastly, we will go to time and money freedom. You might be a person who feels out of balance, like you have more time than money or more money than time, and you love to feel more in harmony. Or you could take 1 minute and write down one or two things you're noticing in your time and money freedom. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. And finally, give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 5 where you feel you are at in your time and money freedom. I appreciate you doing this exercise. It takes a lot of courage to look at our lives and see what's not working. Oftentimes, we put what's not working off to the side so that we can cope better, basically because we don't really know how to deal with it or make it any better. But in this masterclass, I'm teaching you, let's bring it out of hiding and bring it over here so we can see it. So once we see it, we can make the changes that we need to make, the changes that will give us different results. So thank you for doing that. That was your life assessment. We did all of those areas. Now we're going to move on to key number 1 or principle number 1, and that is designing your dream. Remember earlier, I talked about we live by design or we live by default. So we're stepping into brave thinking. We're going to design your dream. We're going to design your life how you want it to look. And now I'm going to share some quotes. From the Dalai Lama, he said, in order to carry a positive action, we develop here a positive vision. In the Bible, in the chapter of Proverbs, or the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 18, it says, where there is no vision, people perish. This is such an important verse. If you do not have a vision or a dream or a design, you just dwindle away and you perish. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream, by C.S. Lewis. Harriet Tubman said, every great dream begins with a dreamer. And lastly, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And this was said by Eleanor Roosevelt. I do want to point out the word believe in here, because once we have a dream, we can't sit back with the common thoughts we've had before and say, well, I don't think it's ever going to come true. I don't know how it's all going to work out. No, we have to shift our thinking into brave thinking and believe. Yes, I believe this can happen for me. Are we going to go into doubt and worry and unbelief? Yes, but we just need to notice what we're noticing. Remember, with brave thinking tool number 1, and stop the common thoughts and bring yourself into brave thinking thoughts. Clarity is power. Yes, it is. Now, when you're going to build a house, you need blueprints to give to the builder. It's the same premise with our dream. We're going to build a dream, but we need a blueprint. And so in the Brave Thinking Institute teachings, we teach our clients how to dream, how to build their dream so that they have this blueprint. When you become clear on what it is that you really want for your life, then you begin to see opportunities and circumstances and resources that you would have otherwise missed. Your awareness starts to come up into your conscious mind. Sometimes we can drive by a billboard or a building. I remember so many times this happening. I've driven that road and all of a sudden I'll see a building and I'll think, I have driven this road dozens and dozens of times and I've never seen that building. I finally became aware of the building. And this is what is going to happen For us, we're going to be aware of opportunities. We're going to be aware of, oh, there's a resource over there that I've never seen before. This is the process of stating out the dream. You're stating it out to the universe. This is what I want. This is what I believe I can have. And then things start to change. Things start to show up that support our dream. So let's design the blueprint for your dream, and let's make it crystal clear. Consider the 4 domains of your life. There's the health and well-being, love and relationships, vocation, and time and money freedom. For our purposes today, I want you to choose one area that you're the most unhappy about, and we'll get to work on that area and learn how to improve it quickly. The quality of our life is determined by the questions we ask. I'm going to go into this in more detail, but let's go on to this screen because this is Brave Thinking tool number 2. It's a question. It may sound like it's kind of a ridiculous tool, but it is so powerful. We need to start asking ourselves, what would I love? We've been so conditioned out of what we would love that we don't even ask ourselves this question anymore. You could ask this question throughout the day. When I get up in the morning, I think, well, what earrings would I love to wear with my outfit? We can get really good practice with this in the little things. This is just a little thing. But we practice it, and then when we get to the bigger things, we have had experience in tapping into what exactly we love. So when you're choosing a partner, when you're choosing your spouse, ask yourself, well, what would I love in my relationship? And is he matching up to that? If he's treating you disrespectfully, if he's letting you sit there for weeks and weeks and not contacting you, is that how you want your relationship to be? He's not even pursuing you. He's not having the initiative to contact you. No. So you say, no, I wouldn't love that, and let that guy go. And so move over to other men and see how they're treating you. And then you keep asking, what would I love? These are the big things in life. Choosing a partner, choosing your spouse is big. But we can start with our little choices and get practice at this, because most of us have been trained out of what we want for ourselves, what is best for ourselves. I want to give you some examples of how we've gotten trained out of this question. So think about this question. Well, I wonder what my best friend wants me to do. This is the people-pleasing question. You're wondering what they think you should do because you want to please them and you want them to be happy, and you're discounting what you want. You know what you want. It is inside of you. We don't want to turn our power over to other people and ask them, well, what do you think I should do? No. Ask yourself, what would I love? What would be best for me? These are power questions. So I also want to caution you by starting your questions with why and when. Why pulls us into victimhood? Well, why did that have to happen? I don't know why that person talked to me that way. Why? Don't do it. You're going right into victimhood. The other word is when. Well, when am I gonna get my dream business that I've been waiting for? When is it coming? Starting with why and when causes you to go into whining and complaining. We don't want to end up there because it drags us down. It's the language of the devil. This is where the devil wants you. He wants you utterly discouraged. I don't know when it's ever going to happen. No, we got to tap into believing that this is going to happen. We want to start asking what questions? What step do I need to take next? Well, would I love this more? What would make me happier? Start thinking different questions, because the questions that you ask are so important. You're dialoguing with yourself. I'm going to take you through another exercise, and this is the time machine exercise. We're going to be traveling 3 years into the future. And in 3 years from now, everything you wanted completely worked out. You'll need a pen or a pencil and something to write on again for this exercise. So this is tapping into what you would love in this one area of your life that you chose just a few minutes ago. To begin with, I invite you to write out this phrase at the top of this mini vision, because this is what it is. It's your mini vision because it's just one area of your life. Now, your full vision would be all 4 areas of your life, but writing down this phrase, I am so happy and grateful now that. You'll notice that this is in present tense. We're visioning something out in the future, but we're bringing it into the present tense. Our subconscious mind doesn't know present from past from future. And so we're bringing the future into the present. And we're stating this out to ourselves and to the universe. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and you're going to finish that. Now I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. Again, doesn't have to be a deep, deep breath, but a full breath in through your nose, breathing slowly out through your mouth like you're breathing through a straw. This type of breathing calms down your nervous system. And when your nervous system is calmed down, you can tap into that creative side of your brain. And that's where we want to go for this exercise. Now, imagine it is 3 years from now. It is 2027, and all challenges are solved. Consider what you would love for your life. What great things are occurring for you? If you couldn't fail, what experiences are you having? Who are you with? See them. How does it feel? Now, open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life you are imagining. Ready, go. There are 15 seconds left. Okay, time is up. The last thing for this mini vision is to add this phrase, this or something even better still. So go ahead. Okay, great. The reason we put this statement at the end of our vision is because from where we are right now, this is what our vision is. This vision is a changeable document. Maybe in 2 weeks, you think, you know what? I don't really even want this part of this vision. I'm going to change my vision. Go ahead and change it. When I left my teaching job, I thought, you know what? I'm going to have my own school. I started investigating furniture and rugs and all the things that I would need for the school. I was looking at spaces. And then I realized maybe 6, 8 weeks into it, you know what? This isn't what I really want. I think it was a way of me letting go of the parts that I did love about that job. And when I recognized, you know what, this isn't what I really want, that's when Mary Morrissey's email came into me. And I just knew deep within me, I needed to buy her first program. And so my whole vision shifted. So we hold our hands open. This is something even better still, Father. Yes, we're just stating it out. You might have something better for me, Heavenly Father, and I'm staying open to it. That's what this statement is all about. This was principle number 1, designing your dream. So we're going to move on to principle number 2. And that is deciding for your dream. Best-selling author and life coach Bob Proctor said this: there is a simple mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this mental activity, and it is called decision. You must make a firm decision for what it is you want before you will bring your dream into reality. So we're deciding for new results. I decide for these new results. That's coming from a place of empowerment. We're not sitting back and going, oh, I wonder what my friend thinks I should do. No, we're not doing that anymore. We've learned new tools. We've learned, what would I love? And now I'm going to decide for what I love. And as we go along, I'll teach you how to take these steps to get to where your life that you love is now your reality. So brave thinking tool number, wait a second. Yes. Are we on number 3? No, this is key principle number 2, deciding for new results. Okay. The next screen, I'd like you just to read. I love this screen. Every time I read it, I can read it like it's typed perfectly. And why does this really come up in this PowerPoint? Why are we reading this? Well, I want to relate it to our dreams. So we know the first letter, we know the last letter, in the middle of it is all mixed up. Doesn't matter. We can still read the word. Like, so many people can read this like it's typed. want to relate this to our dreams. So we know where we're at. We're at the beginning, like the beginning of the word, the beginning of our dream. It's right where we are right now. And we have the end. We have the vision that we just visioned up. End of the word, the end of the vision. In the middle, it's all unknown. It could be feeling jumbled up and discombobulated. But it doesn't matter. We can still get to the dream, just like we could still read the word. So I hope that makes sense to you. So where you are now and what you would love, and in the middle comes up the how. How is it going to happen? I don't know how it's going to happen. We do not want to get into that space. So we're going to put a strike through it, put it off to the side. We're going to notice what we're noticing when we're saying, I don't know how it's going to happen. How am I ever going to get this done? Put it off to the side. And let's go to key number 3, or principle number 3, which is befriending your fear. Woohoo! So we all know when we step into new territory, new things, new ideas, fear comes up. It's just the way it works because we're heading into areas that we haven't done before. We're not experienced at it. We feel some fear. But we want to befriend our fear. And what does that mean? It means when your fear rises up, you recognize it, you notice it, and you say, I see you, I recognize you, but I'm going to move forward instead. It's just a signal to us that we're in new territory. And if we want new results, we got to get into new territory. So we cannot let the fear hold us back from our new territory. This is where your patterns are going to come forth because you're in new territory. And these are some of the phrases that you might hear. And some people call these nasty voices, which they can be very nasty. The first one might be, yeah, right, that isn't going to happen. Or how are you ever going to do that? There's a how one. How? Where will you find the time? Where are you going to get the money? These are coming from your paradigms, which is just another word for patterns. Paradigms and patterns are full of beliefs, and the negative patterns and paradigms, these beliefs are actually lies. So the first phrase that we had here, that isn't going to happen. Well, why isn't it going to happen? What thoughts or beliefs might be driving it? Well, nothing I do ever works out. So start paying attention to these phrases that come up because they're clues to these unconscious patterns that run on automatic. And when you let those patterns win, you don't get anywhere different. The patterns keep pulling you back, and you can't move forward into a different life. Part of you is like, yes, I love my vision. I'm ready to go forward. I can do it. And part of you is afraid of failing. Here comes another fear. Now, as we venture out, we will make mistakes. We will fail. We're in new territory. When we were little, we learned how to walk. More than likely, every one of us fell down many times before we finally mastered walking. When we get to adulthood, a lot of adults don't give themselves permission to fail. They berate themselves when they make a mistake, or they berate themselves when they make what they call a failure. We need to give ourselves the grace to make mistakes. When we make a mistake, like when I was going through my next career choice, it wasn't really a mistake that I was heading towards creating my own school. I just finally recognized, look, I'm going to change my course. I could have said, oh, I made a mistake. I was on the wrong path. No, it was just what I thought I was doing. And as I got in further, I knew I didn't want to. So being gentle with myself about that whole experience. So what? I spent 6 or 8 weeks investigating that. Who cares? I got to the point where I recognized, you know what? This is what I really want. I want something different. So we need to give ourselves the grace to make a mistake, because we learn to walk by falling down. We learn to master skills, and oftentimes we make mistakes when we're learning new skills. Just remember to be gentle with yourself. There are a lot of people that, had tough things that came along, but they persevered and they ended up in success. Fear and failure can be prerequisites for achieving great dreams. We want to befriend our fear. Now, parts of you want to go forward and parts of you want to stay where you are. You want to stay like in your little comfort zone. Some people call it playing small. In the middle, what do we have? We have fear. We want to put a strike through fear, just like we did with the how. We don't want to discount that the fear is there. We don't want to fight against it and try and push it down with affirmations and all that. We really want to speak to the fear and befriend it, remember? So we could say, I see you, fear. I am going to make an appointment with you in 3 days. This is Mary Morrissey's idea. It's brilliant. So what you do is you put in your calendar in 3 days, appointment with fear. And whenever the fear rises up as you're moving forward towards your dream with your action steps and with different thoughts, when the fear comes up, you say, oh, remember, we have an appointment in 3 days. Or, if it comes up the next day, oh, we have an appointment in 2 days. By the time you get to the 3rd day and you look at your calendar and you go, oh, I've got an appointment with fear today. Oftentimes you have forgotten what the fear is, which means the fear has dissolved. But if your fear is still there, make an appointment with it. Talk with the fear. Find out what's driving the fear. What experience in your past is driving the fear? And I can help you with that with the compassion key. This is what I offer my clients in my coaching. It is such a phenomenal modality to get at so much that is buried within us. There are 2 companions to fear, and they are doubt and worry. We'll do the same with them, put them off to the side. If you need to make an appointment with them, actually don't make an appointment with them. Just put them off to the side and think different thoughts. Because I'll leave that up to you. I've never really thought of that kind of stuff, but it just came out of my mouth right now. So I'll leave that up to you if you really want to do that, to make an appointment with your doubt. I like it, actually, now that I think about it. But in the meantime, when it comes up, because it more than likely will resurface as you move forward, you want to just say, I see you, doubt, or I'm worrying again, and stop it. And instead, you need to focus on something different, because these habits are very, very strong. We all know that habits are really, really a challenge. And so what you want to do is to focus on your dream, get your vision out, get yourself into the vision. And the next thing to do, okay, that went too fast. I want you to focus on taking an action. Let's take a few seconds right now and write down one action step that you could do that would take you towards your dream. So let's take a few seconds here and go ahead. The next thing I want you to do is to write that action step in your calendar. This is a promise to yourself that I'm going to take this action step. Pick a date, pick a time, and put it in your calendar. And be true to yourself by following through with this action step. Here are the 3 keys to mastering your results. So kind of starting to wrap up here, designing your dream, deciding for your dream, and befriending your fear. You are worthy of your dream and a life that you absolutely love. Yes, you are. And now let's talk about the gift. Each week I have openings for visioning sessions. They're about 45 to 60 minutes Zoom calls that we can see each other, get to know each other a little bit better, and get clear about what it is you want for your life. And then you can make a decision if you really want to work with me. So the first step is the visioning session, and I am offering that to you for free. It's usually a $250 value, but it's my gift for you. You can just send me a message on Facebook, or I will put my email below this video, and you can contact me by email. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Great. So remember, as you walk back into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you are facing. You have incredible power within you, and we're just going to tap into all of that power. This is your moment. Today is your day to take bold action, and know that I believe you can. I didn't come this far to only come this far. Did you? No. I know there's more out there for me, and I know there's more out there for you. More things that we love. If life is still breathing you, life is not done with you yet, because something magnificent is happening with you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.